Today I wanted to talk to you about a console that was transitionary. It was a flop for Nintendo, and it is the Nintendo Wii U. Now, the Wii U only had about 208 games that were physical games on this platform, so very limited. I believe there was around 800 games that you could get on the console in total, but again, there's only 208 that came out on disc, guys. So the library for collecting on this is very small. And surprisingly, there's a lot of games on the platform that are not very expensive still. So I would keep this tidbit of information. If you are collecting this, I would get on it and get as many as you can, because it's like all this other stuff. It probably will go up in value here shortly. So it came out in 2012, kind of piggybacked off the Wii. The Wii was hugely successful. This is where they were kind of moving in the handheld direction, and you can see this. It's definitely the precursor to the Switch, guys. And it had the gamepad that you could take anywhere. I'm surprised this didn't take off at the time, but people maybe were just not ready for that. However, you can see what the Switch has turned into now. Crazy selling console. So they took a hit in the beginning. It worked out for them in the long run. Now, there is some bolos on this. We're going to get right into it. If you are a collector of this console, you can pick up these games relatively cheap for the most part. I'm going to go over some of the more expensive ones that are a little bit harder to find here. We're going to get right into it. Okay, so the first one we're going to get into is Devil's Third. And as you can see in the top, $92. Now this one is a PAL version, guys. As you can see, they have different covers than the NTSC version. The middle one is the NTS version. It's a little more sought after at $307. And then another PAL version that's brand new for $150. So if you are collecting this and you are on my side of the pond, it's going to cost you around $300. My European friends, you're going to be, $100 to $150. Just depending on the day for this. Neat looking title, one of the more expensive ones on this console. Next up, we have Finding Teddy. Now, as you can see in the top, brand new, 323. That's the PAL version. 279 brand new in the middle. And then 506 they took an offer on the bottom. Now the bottom one, there's two games here, guys, so you can't really take that into account. But the second one here is brand new, and it's from the US. I'm assuming it's NTSC. So not a huge price disparity between the two consoles. Again, these were the only two brand new versions I could find. So I would assume they'll probably both, on average, land around the same price. Next up is Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. I came across this a little while ago. I did end up selling it. As you see in one of my previous videos, I bought it in a Wii U lot. Some of the Wii U games I kept. The console, I sold it as well. I have a really pristine one already in the box, the black version. So I already have that, so I really didn't need much of that. Some of the games, I'm going to start working on this library myself, so that's why I was interested and thought I would make a video about it. So as you can see in the top, $81 in the United States, and then 65 from the UK. On the bottom, we have a disc only for 50. So as you can see here, the PAL version went for 65 and then 81 for the US version. They're pretty close in price, guys. Nothing wild here. Most of the Zelda games on any of these Nintendo platforms are worth money. It's just a huge IP and it's very collectible. I thought this was really interesting and something you guys should know. I pulled up the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD console set. Now, this console set is very expensive. It was probably a pretty limited run. As you can see, brand new on the top, $3,073 in the US. And then the middle one, also brand new, $3,036. Now, the middle one is graded, guys. It's graded a 90, so that's pretty good. And then the bottom one is new others, so it's been open. It has some games with it for $2,800. I was surprised that this one was that expensive. Again, I'm not a huge wealth of knowledge on the Wii U itself. I think it's a neat console, and like I said, I am collecting it a little bit. I'll dive a little bit deeper into it, but yeah, $3,000 for brand new, that's crazy. Even paying the $2,800 with the games on the bottom, if I could find one brand new for that kind of a price difference, I think I would go for the brand new one for a couple $100 more. Or even buying a graded one, for that $300, $200 more here in the middle, like, that would be pretty sweet if you're a big-time collector. I am not. If you are, more power to you. I figured I would pull up one more console, and it is the Mario Kart console bundle. As you can see, brand new, $2,800 on the top, $1,780 in the middle, and then $1,676 on the bottom. The bottom one is a dead gamepad or something going on here, so that's not really applicable in this case. I just thought it was interesting. But as you can see, graded 80 for $1,700 and then graded 90 for $2,700. So that extra 10 points in grading, it gets you an extra $1,000 apparently in this console. Me personally, I don't see the value in paying this much for this kind of stuff. But everyone has their own takes on valuations and stuff for this sort of thing, and it really does depend on how valuable it is to you. You know, I may not think this is valuable. I would rather have, like, you know, maybe a muscle car or something, and someone would look at that old piece of junk and be like, well, why would you pay that for that? It's not worth that much, right? So that's all just in the eye of the beholder on what this stuff is worth. Again, if you're going to buy this graded stuff, this is what you're going to expect to pay. Next up, we have Phineas and Ferb Quest for Cool Stuff. As you can see, brand new on the top, $62, $36 in the middle, and then $50 on the bottom. So not a hugely expensive disc, guys, but it is one that does sell regularly. It sells for decent money. It sells pretty quick. And it is one of those like kid-centric type games that you are more apt to find out and about when you're looking at this stuff for yard sales and at flea markets, guys. Sometimes covers that look like this, that look cartoonish, the average person will just think they're worthless when they're really not. And, you know, if you can pick it up for a few bucks and throw in a collection, that's the name of the game here. Up is Pokemon Rumble U. Now, this I don't really know too much about, but as you can see in the middle, brand new, $834. Now, this is a PAL. It says it's just the code. Now, I don't know if the top and bottom little accessories came with this game. It kind of looks like it might, or they may came on their own. It doesn't really matter. I just thought it was really interesting. I didn't know this kind of Pokemon stuff was available on this console, and maybe you didn't either. And it looks like the little figures, you know, $20 or $30. They're kind of like Skylanders, but Pokemon stuff, right? So they're probably going to be worth a little bit more than a regular Skylander or something. Next up, we have Shmup. Now, I've never seen or heard of this game, guys. And as you can see on the top, 371 in the top, brand new. And then another brand new at 371. Top two are PAL versions, guys. And then 265 brand new on the bottom, which would be the NTSC version. This is a heavy hitter on the console. It's one I've never heard of. It looks like this is a collection of 2 or 3 games or something, so just keep an eye out for it. We have the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Not a big shock to see a Spider-Man game on one of these lists. As you can see in the top, $25, and then the middle $20, and then the bottom $20. Now, this is not a super expensive game. It's just a neat game to actually collect. It's one you will find in abundance out and about, guys. Again, these are the games that you can really build a solid collection out of and not spend a whole bunch of money. You know, and you might see this on Marketplace for $10 once in a while or something, or in a bundle. These are the games that I like to collect. Not too expensive, not shovelware, but just the cool IPs and stuff that you remember from as a kid and stuff that's still cool now. The Spider-Man games. Pretty expensive one on this console, guys. It is the Book of Unwritten Tales 2. Now, as you can see on the bottom, this is from the UK, so it went for $140. Definitely the PAL version. $279 brand new in the middle. That's NTSC, and then $189 in the top, also NTSC, I would assume. So it's more expensive over here, obviously, almost double the price. You always want to check the labels to see if it is PAL or NTSC. It's usually quite visible right on the front. You will know indicators that you can use to distinguish this very quickly. Especially the rating system, it's completely different over in the PAL version area. So this ran from 2012 to 2017, guys. Only sold like 13 million. It really did underperform for Nintendo. This was the precursor to the Switch. The Switch came out after this, and it kicked ass, and it's still kicking ass. A new one's coming out. That's going to be super expensive. I don't know who's buying it, especially when there's a lot of kid-centric stuff on it. But you never know. People will find the money for this stuff. They always seem to. I think it's a neat system. You can play the Wii games on it. To show you that sometimes when you release something, it's not going to be initially successful, but it set the stage for the Switch, which did become successful. So it worked out for Nintendo in the long run. And, you know, a company like Nintendo, with all those IPs, they're always going to be able to make money off stuff, especially from the software from this stuff, guys. But again, 208 discs on this to collect. It's something that you can collect and not go broke doing, guys. I'm going to start doing it. It'll take you along for the ride for that. And as for the old Wii U, you know, it has its place in history. This isn't going to be a super long video. There's just not a lot of heavy hitters on it. And that's good for collectors, honestly. It really is. I hope you guys are having fun collecting the games. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. And if you are, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe below. I'd really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next one. And everyone have an awesome day. Summer is here.